Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rakak. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, I want to go into a lesson, going into a question that had came up about giving tithes and offerings, being in this truth in this ministry, because we know how the Christian churches and of course probably other denominations, other churches in America, Babylon the Great, how they send around the giving plate, the tithe plate or basket, whatever they use to put the money in for people to give tithes and offerings. And of course that concept is already established with how they do it, which, going according to the scriptures, tithes and offerings, that wasn't even financial, to begin with. It was more so given it was set up for the tribe of Levi, first and foremost, as they was the givers of the law. That was their inheritance from Yahweh by Hashem Shah, to be the giving of, do the service of the law. And in that, the Lord had it set up to where all the rest of the tribes had to give a percentage. And usually those percentages were crops, agriculture, different things like that to support the tribe of Levi. I don't know if this goes into it, but I can touch on it real quick. But in today's time, with us being in this truth, you have brothers and sisters that watch the videos, watch the camps, and they have questions on how to give or how to give tithes. And first and foremost, this is not no video suggesting or saying that people need to give money, give tithes or anything like that. That's up to you, if you want to do so or not. But the way to go about doing so, and I'm gonna get a couple scriptures on it too, but the way to go about doing so, especially, like you have a camp that you watch, brothers or whatever, you will reach out to the brother via YouTube, reach out to the camp via YouTube, and, they'll be able to give you directions on how to do it, where to send it or whatever the case may be, and more so even for women, if you're a single woman, you don't have a man, then you reach out via YouTube, But if you have a man, especially if you have a man in this truth, you would go to that man, you go to your head, and he would do all, you just go to your head and all of that'll be taken care of through him. But if you don't have a man that's in this truth, it'll be the same way. You go about reaching out to the camp to, find out direction on how to send tithes, send money or, whatever it is you want to do to help support, because that goes also into, this is why I got it up, to minister, the minister definition according to the Bible. And I'm gonna read this, and like I said, I'm gonna get a couple precepts, but it says, according to the Bible, a minister is primarily a servant or attendant, diakonos in Greek, who serves the Most High and others in his name, which Yahweh by Shema Shah is his name. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shah being who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Derived from the terms meaning under rower or waiter, which we use that word waiter to this day. It describes anyone functioning in a capacity of service, including preaching, teaching, or providing aid. The role emphasizes humility and fulfilling physical, emotional, or spiritual needs. So that's the primary meaning or definition of the word minister. Now it says service as essence. The core meaning is service, not position. It implies acting under another's direction. And Yahweh Shah, they got Christ, but go into the Messiah. Yahweh Shah gave an example of that, which I got a couple scriptures queued up. Let me see, which one is it? Okay, yeah, here, Matthew chapter 20, and I'm gonna start at verse 20. It says, then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. And he said unto her, what wilt thou? She said unto him, grant that these my two sons may sit, the one on the right hand and the other on the left in thy kingdom. But Yahushua answered and said, ye know not what ye ask. Are you able to drink of the cup that I shall drink of, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They said unto him, we are able. Meaning, because Yahushua said he knew that they didn't understand what they was asking for. He was like, you asking basically to go through what I have to go through in your own walk in order to reach the kingdom, in order to reach what I'm about to, what he's about to be given, which he has already attained, the throne. Yahushua he's going to rule in the next world kingdom. That's what he was fighting for, just like we fighting for. But they didn't understand that that's what they was asking for, the suffering that comes with that. So verse 23, and he said unto them, ye shall drink indeed of my cup, and that cup of suffering, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give, but it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. And when the 10 heard it, they were moved with indignation against the two brethren. And Yahushua called unto him, and said, ye know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them, and they that are great exercise authority upon them. Meaning, these other nations, how they rule over their people, they get in a position of authority and they use it to their advantage instead of using it to the advantage of the people. Because when you're in authority, you're in that position to serve those that's under you. That's what you do. You use your power, your resources, your influence to help the people that's under you, that you're leading, that you're guiding, or whatever the case may be. That's what you do. But this world doesn't set up things that way. You get in a position of leadership and power, and now you lording over the other people that's under you, making their lives more difficult just to make your life better. So Yahushua said, that's how they do. Verse 26, but it shall not be so among you, but whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister. And whosoever be chief among you, let him be your servant. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life for a ransom for many. So Yahushua didn't come down asking people for money. He didn't come down taking people property or taking what they own. Yahushua came to minister, and to serve the people, which, serve our people at that time. And this is the same stead that he was teaching his disciples, because they was going to be the next leaders when Yahushua left. They were going to be the leaders when Yahushua left. So he was training them up in that same mindset. And now we have that same mindset too, being in this truth. We're not here to exploit our people, to take money from them, have our cash apps and our bios, this, that, and the third, And I'm saying it like that. Say we're not pushing, taking money. We're serving by teaching you the words of Yahweh by Shem Yahushua as we have been taught. Freely ye give. Which I get that. Get that real quick. This is Matthew chapter 10, starting at verse 5. Then these 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as you go, preach, which preach was also one of the definitions of minister, saying, the kingdom of the Most High, or the kingdom of heaven, is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye receive, freely give. See, this is it's not about us giving. It's not about us trying to receive money or sell the word or anything like that. However, you can give tithes. You can give tithes. It's just Yahushua was given the right mindset about what we're doing, what we're involved in, and what truly matters. Because again, it's not about us coming and trying to make a living off of the people that's under us, or people, that whoever hear the word, whoever can receive the word. It's not us trying to make a living off of that, because the Lord perfectly set up his men. He take care of his men to where they can provide and take care of themselves. But giving tithes is also, of course, it's in the scriptures, and it's something that was done. Even in the New Testament, it's something that was done, being ministered to, and it's not always financial. It doesn't have to always be financial. I say it like that. Now let me get another one. This is Matthew chapter 8 and 14. This is when Peter's wife, mother, or his mother-in-law, was sick. I'm gonna read it again. Okay, I just stay in the KJV. This is Matthew 8 and 14. And when Yahushua was come into Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother laid and sick of a fever, and he touched her hand, and a fever left her, and she arose and ministered unto them. So she arose, she got up, and like I said in the KJV, she got up and served them, took care of them. After, and that was again, let me go back to the definition. It says, let me start it. It says, derived from the terms meaning under rower or waiter, it describes anyone functioning in the capacity of service. So any type of service, including preaching, teaching, or providing aid. The role emphasizes humility and fulfilling physical, emotional, or spiritual needs. Service as an essence. It says the core meaning is service, not position. It implies acting under another's direction. Now, New Testament, it says refers to a waiter, servant, or minister, often applied to pastors, deacon, or any, it would just say Christian, but any follower of Yahushua serving in the church. It says Old Testament refers to attending to service, specifically used for priests. An example, Aaron ministering in the tabernacle. And Aaron was a tribe of Levi. He was from the tribe of Levi. It says functional roles. A minister may be a preacher, teacher, leader, or one who provides aid. So this just going into all the various applications of the word minister. Now, let me get another precept. This is Luke chapter 8, starting at verse 1. Soon, now, because this going into the women. Soon afterward, Yahushua went on through towns and villages, preaching and bringing the good news, the gospel of the king. Oh, this is in the AMP as well. The good news, the gospel of the kingdom of the Most High. And the 12 apostles were with him. And also some women who had been cured of evil spirits and diseases. Mary, called Magdalene, from whom 7 demons had been expelled. And Joanna, the wife of Chuza, Herod's household manager, and Susanna, and many others who ministered to and provided for him and them out of their property and personal belongings. So they served, because minister goes into serve, they served them in any way that they could, whatever they can do to help. So as far as giving tithes, if it's financial, that's fine. For the most part, for a lot of people, it's going to be financial. Giving money, it's going to be financial, but it doesn't have to technically always be financial, because there are sisters who are good at doing various type of, crafts. You have sisters that's made garments and sent garments to brothers, or made custom garments for brothers and gave it to them. That's not specifically anything financial, but that's definitely helpful, and that's still a form of ministering, serving and helping. It's aided in any type of way. There's women that cook for brothers, because it happened in the scriptures. They served, and not even just the New Testament, but the Old Testament as well. There were women who ministered and served. And like I said, I'm getting into the point of it's going into, the giving of the tithes, but more so just ministering, serving, helping in any way, shape, form, or fashion. That's the overall, point. And like I said, you can give money, and that's cool, but it's not just restricted to, I got to give money, especially like I said, how the churches did it, or how the churches, set everything up. Now, I said I was going to pull that up. Real quick, I'm going to just let ChatGPT bring it out. Typed in how was tithes given in the Old Testament. It says in the Old Testament, tithes meaning a tenth, were a structural part of Israel's covenant law under the Most High. They were primarily agricultural or livestock based, not general income in modern sense. Why? Because that's what real wealth is. That's real wealth. And guess what? When we get back into power and come into the kingdom, all the nations, they're going to bring their resources unto us. That's wealth. That's Isaiah chapter 60, real quick. Isaiah chapter 60. Let me see. This is Isaiah 60. I'm gonna start at verse 4. Yeah, starting at verse 4. AMP. Lift up your eyes around you and see. They all gather together. They come to you. Your sons will come from afar, and your daughters will be looked after at their side. Then you will see and be radiant, and your heart will tremble with joy and rejoice, because the abundant wealth of the seas will be brought to you. The wealth of the nations will come to you. Meaning, when we get back into power, all these other nations will bring all their wealth unto us, because we're going to be the world rulers. You know, we're going to dominate the earth. And when they talk about their wealth, it's not talking about just finances. It's not even just talking about the gold and the silver. It's everything, all the resources of the earth. It continues on saying, a multitude of camels from the eastern trading tribes will cover you, Jerusalem. The young camels of Midian and Ephah, because camels were used to transport goods. All those from Sheba who once came to trade will come bringing gold and frankincense and proclaiming the praises of the Lord. All the flocks of Kedar will be gathered to you as the eastern pastoral tribes join the trading tribes. The rams of Nabaioth will serve you. And in the KJV, it says they shall minister unto thee. So they're going to minister and serve again. I didn't even know it was in this verse. They will go up with acceptance as sacrifices on my altar, and I will glorify the house of my honor with splendor. Who are these who fly like a cloud and like doves to their windows? The isles and coastlands will confidently wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish will come first to bring your sons from far away, their silver and gold with them, for the name of the Lord your God, for the Holy One of Israel, because he has glorified you. Foreigners will build up your walls, and their kings will serve you for, and they say serve and minister in the KJV. For in my righteous wrath I struck you, but in my favor and grace I have had compassion on you. Your gates will be continually open. They shall not be shut day or night, so that people may bring to you the wealth of the nations, with their kings led in possession. Right. So, let me see. Yeah, I'm going to continue on. It says, for the nation of the kingdom which will not serve you, Jerusalem, shall perish, and the nations that refuse to serve shall be utterly ruined. The glory of Lebanon will come to you, the cypress and juniper and the cedar together, which is different type of trees, to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will honor and make my place of my feet, or the place of my feet, glorious. So just going into all the different wealth, the resources that's around the earth, you might not find it in one country or one land, but it's in other countries ruled by another nation. All of that is coming to us, and they're going to be in captivity working for us, serving us in slavery. But the point that I was making is various types of wealth, you know, and agricultural and livestock. That's wealth, you know. It's not just your typical money or gold. Now it says the Levitical tithe, annual 10%. This was the main tithe. It says the purpose was to support the priests and the Levites who received the tribe of Levi. Why? They had no land inheritance like the other tribes. So we go into the book of Leviticus 27, verses 30 to 34, and the book of Numbers 18, 21 through 24, explain that a tenth of grain, wine, oil, fruit, and livestock was given. Every 10th animal passing under the shepherd's rod belonged to the Lord. The Levites then gave a tenth of what they received to the priest. Numbers 18 and 26. This tithe functioned like a national support system for Israel's, which is call it religious leadership, but it go into how the Lord set it up for the for the tribe of Levi to be supported, which all go back into minister, because they were the ministers of the law. So, and that's, I guess I'll read a little bit more. It says the festival tithe found in the book of Deuteronomy 14:22-27. This tithe was set aside each year, taken to the place the Most High chose, eventually Jerusalem, eaten by the family in celebration before the Lord. If the distance was too far, the produce could be converted to money, transported, and then used to buy food for the feast. This tithe emphasizes worship, joy, and remembering the Most High as provider. The poor tithe every third year. Book of Deuteronomy 14:28-29. Every third year, the tithe was stored locally and given to Levites, foreigners, orphans, widows. This acted as a social welfare system to ensure no one lacked basic needs. So we had everything set up to take care of each other, because that's what it goes back to minister and to support or to serve. And that's what the leaders of our nation made sure that this system was set in motion to be taken, to take care of the people. That's the whole purpose, which goes back again to the whole word ministering and to support. And it's not always financial, but it can be, especially in modern day time. We don't have livestock like we did when we had our own land. We don't have we're not in the situation to be set up how we was in our ancient in the ancient world. But that doesn't mean that you have to be restricted to only one thing. Like I said, it's many different brothers and sisters have different crafts and are talented and skilled in many different things. So it says what exactly was given. Tithes was primarily grain, wine, olive oil, fruit, cattle, sheep, goats. Money was only used when transporting goods was impractical. Israel's economy was largely agricultural. And that even goes back to the word pastor, because that's, pastor has many different meanings, but, pastor deals with guiding sheep or guiding animals, and it goes to guiding people as well. And that's pretty much it. I read the summary. It says in the Old Testament, tithing was agricultural, not salary-based, structured and multi-layered, used to support priests, worship festivals, and the poor, part of Israel's covenant law under Moses. So that's what the Lord had it all set up for. And I think I had mentioned too, like especially for sisters, like if you wanted to, like say you wanted to give, of course, like I said, if you have a man in this truth, you go to him because he will set the direction. That's your head. You go directly to that man. But if your man is not in the truth, there's still a way for it to be done in order, and you can still support, if that's what's on your spirit to do so. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick. I think I got all the scriptures that I said I was going to get. Yeah, I did. So Lord will is edifying. On that note, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakak Dash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Until next time, shalom.